My name is AJ Richman. I'm a criminal defense attorney and personal injury lawyer in Forsyth County, Georgia. And a few people have asked, especially the interns coming in from high school and college, what exactly do you do in a day? And of course, I can explain that with cases and say, oh, I go to court all the time. But I think it's pretty neat if I just actually go through my day so that way y'all know this is, I guess, what a lawyer does. So I wrote it down and we'll go through it. So beginning really early in the day, I'm of course wake up, shower, all that, and I take the kids to the bus stop. Assuming that the bus gets there on time, I come back and I hit up a pretty morning workout. I overlook the outside where my gym is and my house, and I get that done as quick as I can. I complain about it the whole time, and then I'm off to the computer to work. So on this particular day, case one, I reviewed a case where a person left a gun underneath a bed and another person found the gun and shot himself. So the question that I was trying to research was, is that a crime? Is leaving a gun under a bed a crime for which you can be prosecuted in Georgia? So spent about an hour or so researching that. Next, I was preparing for a murder case. A murder trial come up the next day where it was a self-defense murder, and my good friend and I were trying that case. So I put aside about 2 hours till about 11 a.m. or so to prepare for that, do some legal research, again, look at the facts of the case, start preparing cross-examination questions for the officer. After that, case number 3, I had a sex case. I Zoomed with my client, my investigator, my paralegal. We went through all the discovery in that case, just screen sharing what the discovery was, meaning the evidence that the state gave me. Screen share that with my client and then my investigator, my paralegal, just kind of review it, see what's happening. I then had a snack. It looks like cottage cheese and water I wrote down, so fairly healthy. Case 4, we worked on a DUI vehicular homicide case where my client was alleged to have hurt somebody while he was DUI, so we were looking at the evidence, see if anything came back in that. Case 5, I switched over to my personal injury practice. Looks like I was reviewing a car accident dealing with medical payments. So on your insurance, if you look at your car insurance, you should see the words medical payments. That basically is money for you if you get into an accident that your insurance will pay any bills you have immediately. Or if you have a lawyer, we can get that money for you and then negotiate down the bills, and of course the rest could go in your pocket. So I was doing that for a client. It looks like it turned out pretty well. Case 6, I talked to my investor about whether or not the blood at the GBI was actually stored properly. In that case, the blood was sent to the GBI toxicology lab approximately 2 weeks after they collected it. So we were trying to figure out where it was. And in that case, the officers took the client to the hospital. They drew his blood out of his arm. They took the blood back to the police station, and they left it in the evidence locker for approximately 2 weeks. It was 15 days or so. Not refrigerated, just sitting there. And then it got sent off to the GBI, and the GBI immediately puts it in a refrigerator, and they test it. So the question is, what would have happened to the blood during those 15 days or so for not being refrigerated if GBI immediately puts it in a refrigerator? So we were looking into the background of that and the research on that. Next case, case 7, I went back to my personal injury practice and I took in what looks like a dog bite case where I believe my client was walking in the street on a day that she walks, and a dog ran out of the house and attacked her, bit her, and basically tore many pieces of her leg off. Turns out that dog did not actually live with the owner of the residence. The owner was just watching the dog at his house for a few hours. So a bad dog in that situation. Case 8, DUI case. Officer asked for a blood test and told the client he would let her go if she blew all zeros. The client said she would blow under, but not all zeros. So the question is that coercive? Meaning, is that proper, or did the officer really try and get that client to blow into the device or not? And I think in that case, the state's gonna have an issue where that breath test comes in. Case 9 and case 10, those were new clients that came into the office and set an appointment with me. Those were 2 criminal cases. So we talked back to back, and now we're at case 11 for the day. I chatted with my paralegal about an insurance carrier who blew a deadline on a high-dollar case. So the issue was whether or not we're giving the insurance carrier basically a mulligan or an extension of time, being the nice guy, where they have a certain amount of time to respond to me in order to pay me money if they choose to pay me money. In this case, the insurance company just never responded. They were overworked and tired and just didn't respond. The lawyer called me and obviously said, I'm sorry, I didn't respond. And we did the right professional thing, which was, hey, you can have an extra few days. Let me know what you think. And I presume that we're going to settle that case for a very good amount of money for the client and everybody will be satisfied. Case 12. I talked to my co-counsel. So in certain cases, bigger cases, I will have another lawyer on the case, either the lawyer that brought me in on the case or a lawyer that I brought in on the case. And we just shoot the stuff with each other, kind of talk about the case, basically recap it. And then of course we call the client just to let them know, hey, we're thinking of you and we're talking about your case, anything you want to add to that. At the end of the day, looks like this timeline ended around 4:15, which was great. I went back to case 2, which was my murder case, my self-defense case, for which we were defending somebody in a local county charged with murder. And I went back and spoke with my co-counsel on that again, and again prepared that case. After that, I went home, looks to be about 5:30, and had dinner with the kids and enjoyed it. So hopefully for you interns or wannabe lawyers and paralegals that want to be lawyers, or lawyers that just need ideas of, hey, what do I do in a day? I've just talked about 12 cases that happened in one day. I think that's a pretty busy day. You will see that there is no, or you heard that there's no court on that day. But the next one of these I'll do will be a court session day where pretty much all I'm doing is in court, and we'll go through that. All right, take care.